Hi there again.
Hi, Mandy.
Ready for the Earth cards?
Yes, bring them on.
So you are Capricorn rising
Correct.
and I am Taurus rising. So
Yes.
so we're both kind of like intrigued to know what's going to come up here. But this is for Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn people. So if you've got the sun, moon or your rising sign in any of those three, Taurus, Virgo or Capricorn, these tarot readings are for you. They all relate to the new moon coming up in Cancer on next Sunday, the 21st of June. And earth and water, the new moon is going to be in the water sign of Cancer, and these are the earth, how this will relate to the earth cards, go very well together. Building blocks, earth and water. So it should be good, because new moon is all about new setting intentions, new goals, kicking something, triggering something into action. And the bonus fifth card that Khalid has introduced today is to do with anyone whose anyone whose moon at the time of their birth happened to be a new moon in an earth sign. So, or relating to sun, moon, or rising in the earth sign. So, I know I've said this in all the other videos, but if this is just the only one that you've bothered to watch, if you don't know the phase of your moon, or you don't know your moon sign, or you don't know your rising sign, contact myself or Khalid with your date, time, and place of birth, and we will happily give you that information. And then you can enjoy more of these tarot messages, because there's more information here than just your sun sign. Okay, so what is the message for the new moon in Cancer that is happening next Sunday, the 21st of June? What is the message if you are sun, moon, or rising in any of the earth signs of Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn? What's the message? Okay. Taurus. This is me. This is my rising sign. Queen of Swords. Okay, so what do I get from the Queen of Swords? Queen of Swords, I see her as being very clear-headed. I see the Queen of Swords as being honest, and I think honest with yourself as well as kind of like to others. I see her being quite organised, actually. So how do I interpret that on what to do? I mean, this is interesting. It's got a real mix of elements here, because we've got the new moon in Cancer, which is water. We're relating it to the earth sign of Taurus, which is very practical, and this is an air card. This is about clear-headedness. I am actually seeing that little Mercury that you talked about back in the video at the beginning of all of this, when we talked about the specific astrology that's going on around that new moon. And I am feeling that it's that communication is very, very kind of like important. It's going to be very important on that weekend of the 21st of June. I do feel it is all about being sort of detached, but getting your point across. I feel if you want to make progress, you may have to kind of like communicate certain things to possibly to other people, and you need to let them know that you are the queen. You are the kind of like, you have your kind of like rules. She's not horrible. I don't see the Queen of Swords as being a nasty character unless she's reversed. I think sometimes then I would kind of like be a little bit like fearful of her. But I think in the upright position, she just says it as it is, and she doesn't there's nothing about her that is kind of talking about anyone behind their back. I think she's making her point quite clearly. I would say this is about communication for the Taurus people. I would say open up and communicate with whoever needs to be communicated with over that weekend. That's your goal, and I feel that will empower you, Taurus people. I really do. I feel that all your practical stuff, you might get a little bit more support because you made your point that needed to be said. I don't know why, but I am really, really feeling, how can a queen be a queen if she doesn't have subjects? I'm really feeling that. Okay, how about Virgo? Oh, mutable Virgo. Okay, so Virgo is a mutable sign. That means it's kind of changeable. And I kind of like, I'm feeling Virgo, wow. Lots of choices for the Virgos. Which one are you going to choose? I feel Virgo could have a lot of possibilities on that new moon weekend. I've got a feeling the Virgos are not going to be able to make their mind up which goal or which intention to concentrate on. I just feel Virgo's got a lot. You know, you were talking in the original video about the Neptune being up there in Pisces, full of great ideas, wonderful ideas, but you know, they need to kind of like start to come into some sort of reality. Got a horrible feeling, Virgos, that you might get caught up with some wonderful, great ideas and not end up actually doing anything about any of them. 7 of Cups for the Virgos. How about some? So I want to go back to those. Some of those are actually really good ideas. Try to just kind of latch onto one of them for the sake of the new moon and go with it, because otherwise you'll just end up sort of wasting this new moon. How about the Capricorns? Here it comes, Khalid, Mr. Capricorn rising. Right, you have to absolutely, and I believe that you will. I'm quite proud of this. I think the Capricorn rising will once and for all let something go. I think Capricorn can be quite meticulous about sort of dotting the T's, and no, you don't dot the T's, you cross the T's and you dot the I's or whatever. But I think, I've got a feeling that the Capricorns, whether it's the sign or in the sun, or whether it's the moon's there or the rising sign, I've got a feeling that they will actually let some kind of unimportant things go emotionally. Actually, I'm going with the emotions here with the Cancer new moon. I think the Capricorns are going to have a little bit of a good old emotional clear out and think, I'm not going to fret about this anymore. And I'm going to just kind of focus on what is going well for me, and what I do have and what I do care about. I'm not going to waste my time on this anymore. I'm quite proud of the Capricorns. Reversed.
That's great.
And what is the message for all of the earth signs? I would say keep it in the moment. That's what I'm getting for all the earth signs. This is a new moon. In itself, it lasts for 2 days. I mean, I would say don't think beyond the next month. If you're going to set a goal or an intention or a manifestation, or, you know, you want to attract something, have it as a short-term thing. Don't start thinking long-term. Just kind of appreciate what you've got in the moment. That is the message that I am getting for all of the earth signs. I've got the 3 of Wands reversed, and I see him as that's it. I see him as very much kind of in the upright, really looking out into the big vast future. And I'm feeling here, this is saying, no, kind of don't worry about the long-term thing. Start to look at kind of what you've got here and now and work with that, and let the future sort of take care of itself a bit. So I'm feeling Queen of Swords, if you can just clear up a few things in your home, because it's like Taurus, just be really clear, communicate clearly with people who are affecting your day-to-day situation now. That will be very, and do it in a very just honest and clear and polite, but kind of empowered way. I kind of feel that will really improve the now for you. I feel the Virgos, oh, come on, Virgos, just choose something and enjoy it for that day or two, you know, even if it's not for the whole month, rather than just wishy-washy nothingness happening with the Virgos. And I kind of like feel that the Capricorns, I'm loving it with the Capricorns. It's like, finally, you kind of let some rubbish go that's getting in your way. Go and have a good day with what you have got, and just let the future take care of itself where that leads you. That is what I've got for the earth signs. And I'm, apart from the Virgos, and I really hope they take notice of this reading, I'm liking it very much. Now, what about your bonus card for the chosen few who might not even know who they are, but they will do? They will do, because they're going to get in touch with us. If you happen to have been born on a new moon, so you are a new moon personality, so that the moon was in the phase of being a new moon when you were born in one of the earth signs, what's the message?
Right. So, I'm gonna ask the tarot for a message for anyone whose moon, the moon of their birth, was within 45 degrees ahead of their sun.
Yes.
So that would
don't worry too much about that. If you're unsure,
yeah,
we will. We can tell you categorically that if your moon was in the same sign as your sun, so for example, if your moon was in your sun was Capricorn and the moon was in Capricorn as well, you don't even need to contact us. You will definitely have. You will be in the new moon phase.
the moon has to be conjunct or ahead of the sun.
Yes, sorry, no, you're right. Yes, if sorry, maybe, just contact us to be sure. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. So for any new moon phase personality with either their sun, moon, or ascendant rising sign, in an earth sign, what is the message from the tarot? Okay. You got the Five of Pentacles reversed, very earthy card. Okay. Okay, I'm sensing that you might be feeling in some kind of despair. Some kind of despair over being bound. Feeling crippled by the restrictions on your motion. And feeling despair, actually feeling even like I'm sorry if this seems too heavy, but kind of feeling like there's no more you can do. Feeling like there's no more you can do. It's a very kind of low, very negative, pessimistic state. And yeah, you need to work out of that. I'm not sensing that it's going to be very easy, but it's just this is very psychological. This is a psychic trap that you're in, and possibly because you are by nature so full of initiative, enthusiasm, appetite for life. Maybe this is what's taking you to this state, right? You can't, maybe you're less able to handle restrictions than others. Like, you know, the restrictions, they hit you harder maybe than many other people, most other people maybe.
And I think that makes sense as well. On a Cancer new moon, it's very deeply emotional. You know, that Cancer new moon. I just think this could be a hard time for those people who have a new moon in the practical, creative earth signs, and that restriction.
Yeah, I mean, being physically constrained for someone with a lot of like earth energy, I can imagine. I can see why that would be really heavy. You know, and there's a lot of
it's only a couple of days. It's just a bad couple of days. So, and if you know it's coming, you just think, you know what, it's going to pass.
This is but just something I'd like to add to that. I mean, all of these phases, I mean, you can think of them, I think you can think of them in two ways, right?
Yeah.
One as, okay, they're just kind of passing triggers that activate, you know, certain psychological patterns I have maybe, you know. And another way to think of them, and this is, I think it's very important to think of them this way, if the current phase of the moon in the sky actually corresponds to the lunar phase in your own birth chart, you can see them as opportunities, right, to develop the personality pattern that is already in you in a constructive direction, to empower yourself through the trigger that you're getting from the lunar phase in the sky, matching your own lunar phase in your birth chart.
Right.
Because what's supposed to happen during those times is you get all sorts of unexpected events, messages, kind of surprises that really resonate with your own personality, right? And you can, based on how you respond to them, the effects might be short-term or long-term, right? So once you know what your lunar personality is, as it is in your birth chart, then you can pay attention to the recurrent lunar phase in the sky. It's going to happen once every month, and it's going to last 3.5 days. Okay, but whatever signals come to you during those 3.5 days, they might be very significant signals. And based on how you interact with them, then, you know, your future might turn in a different direction.
I think we really need to sort of do this other podcast, you know, where we explain all of the 8 phases, because we're just touching on the new moon phase today. But I think that's so exciting to kind of like know that we can have that sort of control. And although I don't want the people that have got the new moon personality in one of the earth signs to kind of go through that 5 of Pentacles, I kind of think if you can see it coming, there's good advice that's come out of the tarot readings I did for you that may counteract that a little bit. Do you know what I mean? So like, if you do, you know, if you are sort of like within the new moon, if you are a new moon personality connected to the Taurus energy, make sure you communicate with people. And make sure you communicate with them clearly and just say how you're feeling. You know, that may help you through that 5 of Pentacles reversed. It's the same with the Virgo people. For goodness sake, make a choice about something and focus on that, rather than being miserable that you can't really do the things you really want to be doing. Some of these things are actually worth doing. So that may kind of like mitigate that somewhat, you know. And finally, for the Capricorn people, this is beautiful, the Capricorn. This is really saying the Capricorns have got every chance here of letting something go that is standing in their way, because they, you know, they've got kind of worthwhile things in their lives that they, you know, that they can be grateful for, that they can move forward with. So you can do this if you kind of change your mindset. You don't have to have a miserable new moon in Cancer. And the other thing is, take notice of that one, and that is, don't look too far out into the future. If you are feeling like rubbish, it's going to last a couple of days at the most, and even then, as I say, you can mitigate it. So right. I think it is the people that have got the new moon in the relating to the earth signs that are going to be hit the hardest.
But the card came up reversed, right?
Yes.
So the message I think that we should focus on is, this is a psychic trap. You need to get out of it. You know, It does not reflect your reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Please message us. I'm expected to be flooded with messages here, to be honest, because I think most people won't know or won't feel sure about their moon phase. So I could be wrong. I could be wrong. We may have kind of millions of people all kind of thinking, I've been waiting for someone to tell me a tarot reading about my moon phase. But I have a feeling that people are going to want to check that. So we're ready for it. Okay, we have one more tarot moon video to do, and that is the air signs. And I'm Aquarius, and my moon is in Gemini. So I'm very much looking forward to this. But I don't have a new moon. I'm not a new moon phase person. So none of your readings, I'm not in that special little elite group. But even so, I'm fascinated. So we will see you at the air signs. Thank you very much. Bye for now.
See you soon.